This exhibition was designed with the intention of examining the discourse around the current coronavirus pandemic. We knew that we would probably not be open to the public, and so we designed this exhibition to be facing out onto Pierce Street.
Pfizer are delighted to support and partner the Science Gallery with the Speed of Science. It's a really exciting initiative. The intention is to make science fun and accessible to all age groups.
We wanted to look at what people are thinking and feeling and what the chatter is around people's hopes and fears. We did this by examining it from a variety of scales. We started with a personal scale, how the body transforms when a vaccine is introduced to it, and examining that protective capacity that a vaccine can give us.
As a parent, our priority is always to keep our children safe. And we're lucky enough in this country to have access to so many safe and effective vaccines that can protect our children against so many devastating diseases.
We wanted to use this idea of fighting a fire to help to show the different actors and the different structures that are involved in our bodies when we respond to an infection or respond to a vaccination.
The other thing that's important to remember is that by vaccinating our own children, we're also helping to keep our wider community safe.
The community immunity piece looks at that concept of herd immunity and how vaccination, as it's taken up by a community, can help to protect the most vulnerable members of those communities. We've laid out Lego men in various patterns that show and trace the path of an infection through a small population. The exhibition then moves into a speculative space where we start to look at the types of objects and services that might be designed in the event that we don't get a vaccine quickly enough.
It's basically a dress with robotic hip elements, and when somebody comes into the personal space, these hip elements go up. So it's really creating a physical barrier, basically. The whole thing around social distancing, I think we as humans, we might know what 6 feet is, but sometimes we forget. And in that case, it might be a really nice thing to have a robotic dress or a robotic entity on your body that can help you remind this notion of like keeping that distance, basically.
James Delaney is an artist based in Dublin who worked on a piece called Isomates, where he wanted to examine the concept of staying in touch with our friends and family. As an introvert, it can sometimes be difficult to reach out to people. And so he wanted to design objects that could help you passively reconnect with friends and loved ones. We also looked at then a global context. The exhibition also has an online component that will be hosted on our website, and this will go into more detail around each of the topics that are being discussed. We've curated a video library that contains snapshots, images and videos of different people's responses to the pandemic.
We made these series of videos to hopefully to tell my own story about taking my own child for her vaccinations, and to really highlight to people that these vaccines are vitally important, and you should get out there and make sure you get your children vaccinated. And for anyone who might have missed an appointment for their childhood vaccinations, it doesn't matter, it's never too late to catch up.
In challenging times like this, we typically look back on what we can rely on. And I think the Speed of Science really reminds us on the role of vaccinations and the important role it played over the last number of centuries. And we believe that science will win out against the current pandemic.
After seeing so much in the news and being so oversaturated with this as a concept, we wanted to give people a fresh perspective, and that's what I hope that they can take away from it.